Hello, this is my mini study analysis table for cannabis use in pregnancy. My first study, the purpose of it was the correlation between cannabis exposure prenatally and its effects on the children as a newborn, as well as in middle childhood years. There were 11,489 children participants from the US, ages 9 to 11. And the study design was cross-sectional study. The data collection strategy was behavior checklists for the child were used to assess the outcome of cannabis use in pregnancy before maternal knowledge of pregnancy. The conclusions and results were the children of mothers who used cannabis after they found out they were pregnant had higher psychopathology, BMI, and birth weight, problem sleeping, and had lower cognitive skills. The original trial included caregivers of the children as well. The study was modified to exclude them. This was a weakness that I saw in the study. One of the strengths was the researchers contrasted the outcomes of cannabis use before and after maternal knowledge of pregnancy. The other comments I had was that of the possible levels of THC were not listed in the study results. The second study that I had, the purpose was, do stressful events before, during, or after pregnancy compel mothers to use cannabis? There were 6,061 cannabis-using mothers as participants. It was also a cross-sectional study design. The data collection strategy was mailed surveys to mothers who had history of cannabis use, and telephone surveys were used if the mail survey was never returned. The conclusions and results from this was 36.4% of cannabis-using mothers continued use during pregnancy, 23.2% of cannabis-using mothers prior to pregnancy but were abstaining relapsed, and stressful life events increased the likelihood of using cannabis during pregnancy and prior to pregnancy. The weakness that I saw was that mailed and telephone surveys have limitations of certain questions they can ask, and answers can be taken out of context. The strengths that I found was mothers were excluded from the trial if information was missing from the survey. Other comments that I had on the study was majority of the original survey results were not included because they did not fit the study criteria. Only 19.15% were included in the study from the original size. The last and final study that I was looking at, the purpose of it was association between cannabis use and maternal cardiovascular health. There were 1,247,035 women from Quebec as participants. It was a longitudinal cohort study design. The data collection strategy was obtained from medical hospital data. The conclusions and results were women who use cannabis have higher risk of cardiovascular health issues resulting in hospitalization. 0.28% of women with cardiovascular issues use cannabis, and women who use cannabis had a higher risk of ischemia. The weakness that I found was there was no distinction of levels of THC in the cannabis, and the strength was the study was over 30 years. The other comments that I had was since the study was over such a long period of time, there could be loss of information or change of direction of importance. Thank you so much for listening and watching to my presentation, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.